Right now, millions of Catholics around the world are mourning the passing of Pope Francis, who died Monday after a stroke, according to the Vatican. He served as the head of the Catholic Church for 12 years. And this morning, we welcome Father Kevin Bazzel of the Catholic Diocese of Birmingham to talk about Pope Francis and the legacy he leaves behind. It's great to see you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I know you have a lot of insight on this topic. You met Pope Francis and you worked in the Vatican. Tell us about the Pope.
I was working there for 6 years. It was a great privilege to be able to assist the Holy Father in his work, which is what we did. And many beautiful experiences. The most beautiful probably is when my parents came over for their 50th wedding anniversary. I was able to get them into the Pope's private Mass and introduce my parents to the Holy Father. There's a picture there. It was a beautiful event. He was so dear with them, gave them both individual blessings, and was just quite loving. Does not speak English, but it was clear what he was communicating with his gestures, and I translated for him at the time. So
it's just amazing to me that you actually worked there and you were around this man. What was he like? What did others? That's not your average coworker now. You're working with the Pope now.
He was. It's amazing to see an individual who has such a global impact, but always one-on-one. He was so endearing and so interested in you. And I think that was the beauty of him as a man, as a priest, as a pope, that he could dissociate from all of the global business and really hone in on the person he was with, which I think was one of his beautiful gifts. There's
the world, and then in that picture with your mom, you know, and your parents, there's that one-on-one moment that looked so special. What do you think Pope Francis's legacy will be?
Well, I think it comes from his motto, which was miserando atque eligendo. It comes from St. Bede's homily on Jesus choosing St. Matthew. And St. Bede said Jesus saw the tax collector Matthew, and having mercy chose him to be an apostle. And Pope Francis, if there's one message he was consistent about, it was finding people, meeting people where they are, and helping them wherever they're at to be able to come to know and love and serve the Lord.
What happens now that we have lost this man and the Pope? What happens now in this process? Because it's elaborate.
It's a long process, a time of prayer and mourning, of course, for the loss of our father, a time of funeral, which will be Saturday, of course, 9 days of masses offered for him in the Vatican, and then, of course, at some point the conclave will begin, and we'll be praying for who the Lord has in store for us.
Father Kevin Bazzel, fascinating to talk with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This morning. David?